Hello everyone, welcome back to Comment Made Easy, and I hope you all are doing very well. Before we begin, let me remind my dear students that the contents of this channel are only to supplement your knowledge, not to replace the regular online and offline classes in your institution. So please attend your classes and do not miss them. Also, if you like our contents, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like the videos, and share these videos with your friends, with your batchmates, with your juniors. Also, if you are a teacher, then with your students. Please follow our Facebook page, and the link will be given in the description.
So far we have discussed the different methods of family planning, and in our last video we discussed the termination of pregnancy using medicines which are mifepristone and misoprostol. Today we shall talk about abortion and the legal aspect of abortion in our country. What is abortion? Abortion is theoretically defined as the termination of pregnancy before the fetus becomes viable. That means it is capable of living independently, and it is assumed that after 28 weeks of gestation the fetus becomes viable, and the weight of the fetus is approximately 1 kg or 1000 gram after 28 weeks. Abortions are usually categorized as spontaneous or induced abortion. Spontaneous abortions, also known as nature's method of birth control, occurs once in every 15 pregnancies. So these occurs spontaneously, whereas induced abortion, which are deliberately induced, they can be either legal abortions or illegal abortions, and illegal abortions are quite hazardous. Abortions are usually safe if they are conducted with methods which is recommended by WHO, which is appropriate for the pregnancy duration, and if it is conducted by person who is adequately trained for the same. On the other hand, unsafe abortion occur when the pregnancy is terminated either by a person who does not have necessary skill, who was not trained adequately, or if they are conducted in environment that does not conform to minimum medical standards, or both. The different early complications of abortion include hemorrhage, shock, sepsis, uterine perforation, cervical injury, thromboembolism, anesthetic and psychiatric complication. If we look at the long-term or late sequel of abortion, they include infertility, ectopic gestation, increased risk of spontaneous abortion, and reduced birth weight. Studies have shown that 7th and 8th week of gestation is the optimal time for termination of pregnancy, whereas the risk of death is 7 times higher for any woman who wait until the second trimester. So earlier the abortion is conducted, the more safe it is. Now coming to the act, that means the legal aspect of the abortion, be it a medical abortion or a surgical abortion. The Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act, that is MTP Act, was passed by the Indian Parliament in the year 1971 and came into force from the 1st April of 1972, except in the state of Jammu Kashmir, where it came into effect from the 1st November 1976. So it came into act in Jammu Kashmir state about 4 years after the other states. Now, from the MTP Act 1971, we get to know what are the conditions under which pregnancy can be terminated, or who are the person who can perform all these terminations, and the places where the terminations can be performed. So, what are the conditions under which pregnancy can be terminated? First is medical cause, where the continuation of the pregnancy might endanger the mother's life or cause grave injury to her physical or mental health. There may be eugenic cause, that means cause related to the newborn, that means the child which will be born from the pregnancy, where there is substantial risk of the child being born with serious handicaps due to physical or mental abnormalities. There are some humanitarian ground, like when the pregnancy is a result of rape. Socioeconomic causes include where actual or reasonable foreseeable environments that may be social or economic, could lead to risk of the injury to the health of the mother, or if the pregnancy is because of failure of contraceptive device. Now this is an unique condition or unique feature in Indian law and virtually allows abortion on request in view of the difficulty of proving that a pregnancy was not caused by the failure of contraception. So if a married couple come and request for pregnancy, I'm sorry, request for abortion to avoid pregnancy, then the doctor, if he is qualified obviously, he has to conduct the abortion process, because there is no other way it can be proved that the pregnancy was not because of failure of contraception. So we have to assume that if the couple or the parents, would be parents, are requesting for abortion, then it must be it. That means the pregnancy is because of the failure of the contraception only. Now, who are the person or persons who can perform this termination? Only a registered medical practitioner or RMP having experience in gynecology and obstetrics to perform abortion where the length of the pregnancy does not exceed 12 weeks. So up to 12 weeks of gestation, one registered medical practitioner having experience in GNO can perform the abortion. When the pregnancy exceeds 12 weeks but not more than 20 weeks, in that case, the opinion of 2 RMP is necessary to terminate the pregnancy. So, to summarize this, up to 12 weeks, 1 RMP, and in between 12 and 20 weeks, the opinion of 2 RMP is necessary for termination of pregnancy. Where these terminations can be performed. So, no termination of pregnancy shall be made at any place other than a hospital established or maintained by government, or a place approved by the purpose by the government for this purpose. So that means only in government institutions this can be done, or any other place that is not government place but that is approved by the government for the purpose of abortion only. So only in these centers or hospitals this kind of terminations can be performed. Then came the 1975 rules. There are some changes to the MTP rules which were brought in the year 1975. First one is approval by board. Under these new rules, the Chief Medical Officer of Health of CMOH of the district is empowered to certify that a doctor has the necessary training in gynecology and obstetrics to do the abortions. So the CMOH of the district can certify that this doctor is trained enough or experienced enough in gynecology and obstetrics to conduct abortion. So the approval is coming from the CMOH himself. Qualification required to do abortion. So what are the qualifications required? The new rule allow for registered medical practitioners to qualify through on-spot training if he has assisted a RMP in the performance of 25 cases of medical termination of pregnancy in an approved institution. So suppose there is an RMP who has already been doing abortions. Now a doctor, if he assists this RMP for 25 cases of medical termination of pregnancy in any approved institution, then this doctor also can be said or can be allowed to perform further abortions on his own. So that is his training. So on the basis of on-spot training, he can also be qualified for the abortion process. There are some other options also, like the doctor may also qualify to do MTPs under the new rules if he has one or more of the following qualifications which are similar to the old rules. For example, 6 months housemanship in obstetrics and gynecology, a postgraduate qualification in obstetrics and gynecology which can be MSc in Obs-Gyne or alternatively DGO, 3 years of practice of OBG for those doctors registered before the 1971 MTP Act was passed, or alternatively 1 year of practice in OBG for those doctors registered or after the date of commencement of the Act, that means 1971 MTP Act. So these are the different options, and if any doctor has any of the qualifications, then he can also perform the terminations. Now, where are the abortions done, can be done? Under the new rules, non-governmental institutions may also take up abortions provided they obtain a license from the CMOH of the district, thus eliminating the requirement of private clinics obtaining a board license. So now the private hospitals do not need permission from the board. They do not need to apply for a license from the board. Rather, these non-government institutions and private institutions can get their own license from the CMOH of the district directly, and after receiving this license they can perform the abortions in their institutions. Apart from this, obviously there are already existing government hospitals where abortions can still be performed. There has been some changes in the MTP Act in recent years. According to the MTP Act of 1971, the Indian law allowed abortion only up to 20 weeks of gestation. But in the year 2020, this MTP bill was amended to increase the duration of pregnancy up to 24 weeks. Let us look at some of the changes in the MTP Act 2021 new ruling. First is the contraceptive failure as the basis of abortion. This was applied only for the married women according to 1971 Act, whereas even unmarried women were also covered in the new ruling. Time of gestation, all abortions were allowed up to 20 weeks of gestation based on the old rule, whereas this gestational period could be extended up to 24 weeks for rape survivors, and if there was substantial fetal abnormalities, then even beyond the 24 weeks of gestation the abortions can be done. Opinion of doctor, generally up to 12 weeks 1 RMP is adequate, whereas opinion from 2 RMPs are required if the gestational age is between 12 weeks and 20 weeks. According to the new rule, 1 RMP opinion is enough up to 20 weeks, 2 RMP required in between 20 and 24 weeks, and if there is a substantial fetal abnormalities and abortion has to be done beyond 24 weeks, in that case approval from the medical board is required. Fetal abnormality, even if there is fetal abnormality, abortion could only be done up to 20 weeks of gestation according to the 1971 rule, whereas here according to the new rule there is no limit of gestation. So even beyond 24 weeks of gestation the abortions can be conducted. And if there is any breach of women's confidentiality from the doctor side or from the hospital side, according to the 1971 ruling, only a meager amount of 1000 rupees would be fined, but now along with fine there is a possibility of imprisonment for 1 year. So there is more protection, more safety to the women. According to the new 2022 October ruling of the Supreme Court, Rule 3B allows abortion between 20 to 24 weeks of pregnancy if there is a change in marital status during pregnancy, including widowhood or divorce. That means, suppose there was a married couple and they became pregnant, and maybe the husband died because of any reason, or there is a divorce between them. So the woman now can choose to abort even if the gestational age is beyond 20 weeks, but it has to be before 24 weeks. Also, the Supreme Court declared that the Rule 3B, this same rule, must also be extended to the unmarried women who experience a change in their relationship, whether due to separation from or desertion by or death of their partners. So not only married women but unmarried women who are not married, obviously they can also opt for the abortion between 20 and 24 weeks if their partner dies because of any reason, of if there is any change in relationship status because there is a separation between these two partners. So even in that case she can opt for the abortion. So these are all the recent changes in the MTP Act. There has been many important changes, as you can see, compared to the 1971 Act of MTP. This is very important for your examination. With this, we complete today's session about abortion. We mainly focused on the legal aspect of the abortion, but you must understand that everything that I discussed today is in context of our country, that is India. If you belong to some other country, maybe there are some different rules and regulations. So I would advise all of you who stay in other countries to look for the different amendments or whatever laws are there based on different documents and orders from the government about these abortions and termination processes, and maybe that will help you. So with this we conclude today's session. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel and share this video with your batchmates, juniors and friends. We also have a Facebook page that you can follow. The link is given in the description. Take care and we shall see you in our next video.